My boyfriend, M18, and I, F18, can't see each other due to COVID lockdown and I'm scared we'll miss our entire relationship. My boyfriend and I have been in a relationship since March 2020, unfortunately just before the pandemic began. I've loved our relationship but it's been predominantly online and I'm scared of the future. We thought, like most people, the pandemic would be over a lot earlier. We text every day and call frequently but since the pandemic started we've only been able to see each other 10 times. In September this year, he may also move away for college if he isn't accepted into our home city's university. I don't think we'll be able to see each other for at least another month due to lockdown. I'm scared that we will never be able to just be together normally and I miss his physical presence so much. Is this feeling normal? Too long didn't read. My boyfriend and I have hardly seen each other since the beginning of our relationship. I'm scared we'll never be able to be together normally. Is this normal? It's totally normal. I've been with my boyfriend since February 2020 and we're in the exact same position. It's tricky, but if you both want to make it work, then it will. Thanks, it helps knowing I'm not alone in feeling like this. I hope we make it work. Smile. Me and the person I'm exclusively dating watch a lot of Netflix together. You can download the Chrome extension Teleparty, used to be Netflix Party, and you can play the show at the same time. A chat box. We've had lots of fun being able to watch shows the exact same time and talk together about it. Smile. We also do shared playlists on Spotify and do shared sessions where you can listen to music at the same time too. Would it be much different if you were able to see each other more frequently? This insecurity seems rational to me. It's no secret that couples who quit seeing each other may have their feelings fade. Being someone who moved halfway across the country to cities 4 hours apart from ISO after graduation, it was very hard for me to not get worried. We got job offers in different cities, due to my profession having a shortage of availabilities where she got her job offer. I did everything I could to make up for our lost time together. Whether it was sending a good morning / good night text every single day, calling her during my lunch breaks, video calling her at night, sending love letters in the mail, or paying for flowers to be delivered to her apartment, my persistence in making sure she still felt the emotional connection while we were separated by distance allowed our love to stay fresh. What you're feeling is completely normal. I've been with my SO for 5 years this year. I haven't been able to see him since January last year. It's really hard, obviously. Do you and your boyfriend FaceTime at all, or is it just phone calls as in voice calls? My SO and I FaceTime at least twice a day. We also make sure to do things together like watch movies / shows or play video games. I'd obviously do anything to be with him but I can't because of closed borders. Someone else said this in the comments, but if you guys are meant to, your relationship will survive this. This year has been hard and not being able to be near my SO has been really hard, but I've also felt like we've gotten closer than ever this past year because of how much we've FaceTimed and talked. Communication is so important while you can't be together physically. Always be open about how you're feeling. Thank you. To be honest, we don't FaceTime, but that's a good idea that I think would bring us closer while we're apart. It should be something we're able to make time for. I hope this is over soon and you and your SO are reunited ASAP too. Heart. It is completely normal. My boyfriend and I got together in July 2020, and we've only been able to see each other in person about 5 times with masks because he works a high-risk job, and I'm immunocompromised, so it would be really bad if I got sick. It can be difficult, but we basically just view it as being in a long-distance relationship. Try to find as much in the way of fun virtual activities as you can. Make sure you're really communicative. If it's something that's meant to be, it'll work out regardless of distance / being virtual. Boyfriend, 42, of 5 months fooled around with my 38 best friend, 42, of 10 years in my bed. I don't know how to handle it. Update, I have broken up with him. He's getting all of his stuff today. So, this all started after an amazing day. My BFF came over to hang out and meet my boyfriend. A few other friends were over, but they eventually left and it was just us 3 left. This is not an uncommon scenario. This friend and I have known each other for most of our lives, but we got super close 10 years ago when we both were pregnant at the same time. During part of our friendship, we were both married and would hang out at times almost every day at one of our houses. She is still married. I'm divorced. We also do a lot of joint sleepovers with our kids and have for years because we both have girls of similar ages. Nothing has ever happened with either of us and the other person's husband or boyfriend, ever. This time was different. We all started drinking. My BF is not a big drinker. My friend is, but she stopped drinking for January and has only drank a handful of times. I don't know if that contributed because their tolerance was lower. I don't know. All I know is we drank a ton of wine. I woke up on the couch and had a pillow and blanket. I walked upstairs and my door was locked. I had to kind of break the door handle a bit to open it. Luckily it is an older house. When I came in, both my BF and my friend were in the bed together, but on opposite ends, not touching or anything. I thought it was weird that they were both in the bed together and the door was locked, and I wasn't really sure why it wasn't both us girls or me and my BF up there. I woke up my BF and asked why I was left on the couch, and he said that I had passed out and there was nowhere else for them to sleep, so they both slept in my bed and passed out. He told me to get in the bed with them and I did between them. My friend was still asleep, so I get in between them and then I realize he is in his underwear. I'm like WTF and asked him why he was in his underwear with my friend. He said he always sleeps in his underwear and he was drunk and not thinking. So, then I kind of lift the covers and see my friend is in her thong. This girl and I have slept together many a time after drinking and she has never slept in a thong. So, I ask him about it and he confesses that they may have fooled around some. So, after about 24 hours of talking about this, processing it, etc., this is what I have been told by my BF. He says we were all just talking and having a great time when I suggested a threesome. My friend was rubbing on my leg and he said I looked like I was going to make out with her. He said we all started talking about it, and then I got tired and went to sleep. He went and got me a pillow. He was going to go, he said, but my friend told him to go stay in the bed and she would stay on the floor. He told her not to do that she should sleep in the bed. He said he had every intention of her sleeping in the bed, and him leaving, but she said she wasn't ready to go to bed yet, and wanted to drink more wine, so they drank wine and talked. He says he is not sure what happened, but they started fooling around and I do know he played with her boobs. He wouldn't really go into a lot of detail because he said I don't want to know the details. He said he is pretty sure he pulled off her pants, but he did say he is sure that they didn't have sex and that his pants didn't come off because he had to go to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom and came out and saw her with her butt in the air with a thong on, and then he felt sick so he went to the bathroom and threw up all over the place, including all over his clothes. He said that is why he was in his underwear when I came up, because he threw up all over his pants and shirt. After that, he said he got on the other end of the bed from my friend on the edge. I know he threw up because even though he tried to clean it up in his drunken state, he didn't do a perfect job. He tried to have sex with me that morning while we were in the bed with her, and right after I found out they had fooled around, he was still drunk, but I was pretty repulsed and kicked him out. When my friend woke up, he was gone and I was in the bed next to her. She was in a hurry to leave because she was running late for something, so I haven't spoken to her about it. I also think she may have wet the bed, which she has never done before. I do think she was incredibly drunk. A few important details: this friend and I did have a threesome once before years ago with a guy we met downtown. It was a one-night stand kind of thing and neither of us ever talked to him again or about it to each other. So I do think the suggesting a threesome thing was probably true. But my BF and I have discussed threesomes before and I told him I would not feel comfortable with him with another girl since he and I are in a relationship. He has said if we ever did decide to do one, he would be okay with just watching me and the other girl and just having sex with me. So in no way should he have felt that a threesome condoned sex with her. He claims he hasn't ever done anything like this before and he says he was honest. He was crying talking to me about it later in the evening. I do pretty much believe his account is true, but I just don't know. He did say that knowing she and I have had a sexual thing in the past made him feel a little better about what he did, but I don't personally think it changes anything he did at all. He said not to blame her, which makes me feel like he started it, but who knows. What should I do? Too long didn't read. My boyfriend and best friend fooled around in my bed while very drunk. What should I do? I wouldn't talk to either of them ever again, but that's me. I'm bothered by how okay Op is with her friend crawling into bed with her boyfriend. The fact that her best friend is willing to do that is just gross and messed up. I could never stay friends with someone who would intentionally break my trust like that. 1. I'd tell the BF to kick rocks. 2. I'd be letting her husband know, and then I would cut her off. Honestly, I'd get out now. If he's acting like this after 5 months, I'd hate to see what he gets into after a couple years. Drinking is not an excuse for either of them. I have broken up with him. I, 22F, am suspicious that my dad, 57M, is not my real dad, but I'm not sure how to ask my mom, 56F, about it. So to give some reasoning behind my suspicion, I am the 4th of 6 children. Every single one of my siblings has straight brunette hair, brown eyes, and looks like my dad. They especially all inherited what is affectionately referred to as dad's chin, as slightly prominent chins run in the family. My siblings, 3 men and 2 women, are all at least 5 feet 8 inches tall. Then there's me. I am barely over 5 feet, pale as heck, ginger, with a face that doesn't match the family at all. I don't share any features with them. People on holidays used to think I was adopted. My family never talks about it, and whenever I asked when I was younger, genetics are weird was the answer. My siblings ruthlessly picked on me about it when I was a kid. Anyway, I have been quarantining with my entire family since the start of COVID, less my siblings that live away from the house. My parents and my 2 sisters were cleaning out the attic with our spare time and found tons of old photo albums. We spent a few afternoons going through them and it was super fun. I found a photo of me, some of my siblings, my parents, and some of their friends at a barbecue, sometime in the early 2000s. There were quite a few photos with one man in particular in this album, usually hanging out near my dad or mom. It seemed like a summer album from like 2002-ish. I would have been less than 6 judging by the photos. The man was my parents' age, and I recognized the younger selves of some of their other friends they still have, but not him. I asked my mom who this random guy in all our cabin summer pics were, and my mom told me that he was a friend of the family, but they fell out years ago and haven't spoken since. She left it at that. The things I immediately noted about him were that he was shorter and red-haired. I asked my dad about him too that afternoon, just to get some more info, and he looked through the photos and told me that was his college best friend, but they don't talk anymore. He also took that album and walked away browsing through it, and I went back to other albums. Not sure what happened, but I can't find it now. Anyway, I have suspicions because that man looked like me, and I just don't really know where to go from here with the info. Advice? Too long didn't read. I don't know how to broach the topic of my paternity with my parents because I have doubts about who my dad is. It sounds like you're not going to be satisfied with your parents' answer unless they confirm your suspicions. So my advice would be to get a DNA test before discussing it with them again. But try to keep in mind that the ginger gene is recessive, and even if both parents have Terry's, no guarantee that they will have ginger children. A quick Google search said that 1 in 4 kids will be ginger if both parents carry the gene. Obviously there are exceptions to every rule, but this could explain why you are the only one. I do think that your own perceptions and the teasing from friends and family has made this enough of an issue that it would just be better to know for sure. Just remember that regardless of the results, your dad raised and loved you for the last 24 years and is your dad no matter what.